internet. This is your fan favorite host of Fanfiction, SneakyDevil. And I'm joined today by Max, Force, and Atin.
Really? Really?
What?
You said Matin.
No, he didn't.
No?
It said
You're just
Max Force and
imagining.
Atin.
Yeah, you're just imagining.
I may
things.
be drunk, despite having consumed no alcohol.
Were you huffing fumes at work or something?
Yeah, actually, that's what he does in his free time. Whenever he runs out of books to read, he just sits there and just sticks his face in one of the output. What do you call it?
Output, huh?
Come on, I'm
Whoa.
thinking the word muzzler?
Muffler?
Muffler! There we go! Look, man, I have been awake since yesterday.
No. See, you don't get to use that as an excuse anymore because you do that all the fucking time.
Yeah? That doesn't make me more used to it.
God, I despise Amazon. I just looked at the tracking details on my CPU.
Oh yeah? How's that going?
Let me
It
guess. It's in it's somewhere in America.
It went from Kentucky to North Carolina. I'm just like, it's a 6-hour shot from Kentucky to where I live. In fact, I've been in the
but
city.
You see, you're forgetting something important.
I've literally gone through the city that it shipped from in Kentucky. I know it's a 6 to 8 hour shot just driving.
See, here's the thing that you're forgetting, Max. You're currently in Georgia, which is going to suffer a hurricane. Doesn't matter if it's nowhere remotely near you.
Atin, by going to North Carolina, they have placed themselves closer to the hurricane's path.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
So, enough about that. Let's figure out what kind of fic we're doing.
Oh my god, am I not going to get my CPU until Dorian fucks off?
Yes, probably.
No. I would say,
That's
actually quite possible.
Wait, Charlotte, North Carolina. Isn't Charlotte like a coastal city in North Carolina?
Poor Charlotte.
But here's the thing. You know what Charlotte's currently not getting yeeted by? A hurricane. You know what's currently getting yeeted by a hurricane? Georgia.
No, we're getting yeeted by that tomorrow.
Actually, here we go. How do you guys feel about a Warhammer Worm crossover where Taylor is the Void Dragon?
Oh, never mind. Okay, no, Charlotte's like way the fuck inland. They might get some rain.
I mean, that'll be stupid.
Yo, quick moment. I feel bad for the Bahamas. They nearly got fucking deleted.
Oh my god,
yeah, because
like Category 5 just chills for 36 hours.
But their valiant sacrifice downgraded it to Category 4 for America.
It's also a Category 2 right now, going up the coast of Florida. But it's just like, holy shit. Oh, I also, since we're on fanfiction, before you do your disclaimer, I finally got one of those spam things of someone looking for a partner.
Oh, did you really?
I'm just like, why? My account hasn't been active in like 3 years.
Hello, would you like to buy this product? I am a human and not a robot.
Oh no, it's one of those, I want someone for good time, baby.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, you got one of those?
I got one of those. It's like, but this account hasn't been active in 3 years. Why?
Alright,
Why?
so here we go. So
because you still picked up, that's why, Max.
We're gonna cover tonight. The first fic we're covering tonight is actually gonna be a straight Harry Potter story.
Oh, what happened to a shit tier worm?
I'm gonna cover that second.
Okay.
I just wanted you all to be eased into it today.
So what you're telling me is you're looping us up before putting it in.
Exactly. And on that note, do not contact the author of the fan fictions we feature here in these stories. Because, you know, Twitch thinks that's harassment. And so, you know, we gotta live with that. Just gotta live with that. But anyway, so the story for today is called Marry You by Dorothea Greengrass. And that's how you know it's a good Harry Potter story, when the author has named themselves after their OC Harry Potter story character.
Yeah,
This is a
totally.
I'm gonna press X to doubt on this one, Arn. I'm gonna dab on this fic.
Okay, I need a serious opinion. Do you think this stream's gonna be a rum stream or a beer? in terms of how drunk I need to be.
I am going to say it's going to
we cannot advocate
beer.
consuming alcohol on this stream.
Yeah, we can't
that
do
violates the NAP and Twitch's
however,
terms of service.
Yeah.
Okay, then
however,
let me ask
if
this
I
as a
were to
separate
give
question.
advice, always start light.
Got it.
You can't undrink the rum. Well, I mean, I suppose
yes,
you
you
could
actually can
You actually
undrink the
can.
rum. That is a
It
thing
is very
that occurs.
painful, but you can undrink any drink.
It is not the suggested
You just
thing,
have to touch
however.
the little back thing in
actually,
you have to touch the little thing in the back of the throat enough.
Well, I do agree with you, Arn, in that because America is a larger country and therefore our way of doing English should be used across the globe instead of Britain's stupid way of doing English, because they are obviously inferior and smaller.
Unfortunately, the British Empire started us, so they have all the moral high ground.
Yeah, except they don't have any moral
listen,
high ground.
they don't have the moral high ground. You know why? Because the French took it away from them for us.
Exactly. But my main point is that Arn is complaining that the author uses a single quote for dialogue instead of the double quote that Americans use, and that's actually just British English in a nutshell. I think it's dumb personally. I think Britain's handling of English in general is dumb enough that they've basically handed the rights to English to us. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, they didn't exactly hand them to us. It's more like we tore them away after we beat the shit out of them.
Also, fuck the letter
we tore
U.
it from their cold, dead hands.
Thank you.
The Empire followed several years later.
So, anyway, the story summary is Harry
we did the
and
disclaimer, right?
We did do the disclaimer,
He did.
Okay.
Harry and Daphne find themselves trapped in a hasty marriage after a drunken night, and there is no way out.
What? Did they go to Wizard Vegas?
Not only did they go to Wizard Vegas, they stored their marriage contract inside Fort Knox. And how will they cope with that? Warning, underage drinking, and a lemon or two, and Weasley
How will they
bashing.
cope with it? They'll get a divorce, or their parents will get one for them.
Also, English is not my first language, so be prepared for strange quirks, or don't read my story. So first off, author.
What I'm hearing is we shouldn't read their story.
Yes, you would think so. So first off, author, lemons, illegal. That's sin 1. Weasley bashing. Bashing in general is illegal, and bashing the Weasleys is even more illegal. Not because I like the Weasleys, but they're also, fairly bad characters in of themselves already if you're going off of the movies. And if you're going off of the books, which are far superior to the movies because
they're not it's still kind of bad, but
they're not as bad. There's actually justification and a little bit more depth to their character in the books. I still don't like them, but they aren't as bad as the director of the movies portrayed them in the movies because he had an infatuation with Hermione.
Oh, well, that didn't sound creepy.
Yeah,
that did not sound creepy at all.
He really likes Hermione in a very creepy way. I watched an interview with him. I was like, and second, third.
With Hermione?
The director of the movies has an infatuation with Hermione. And so a lot of the parts that Ron had in the books or that Danny had or characterization that would have occurred for either of those characters ended up being given to Hermione because he really liked Hermione. And J.K. Rowling just sat there and was like, great, wonderful, I love it when people like female characters. It's so diverse.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Hermione Granger is literally Rowling's self-fucking-insert.
Yes.
Emphasis on that middle expletive there, folks.
Anyway, I'm still sick, so I'm gonna go to sleep. Just popping in to say we're on the R word. Oh, man.
Yep, love you too, Arn. Have a good night.
Make sure
Get
to tell
better,
people
buddy.
About this. And so the third thing I'm going to talk about here is the summary. In the summary, this is an author note thing. This is not a summary thing, but whatever, English is not my first language, so be prepared for strange language quirks. I don't care. if you're writing a story and posting it to a public forum in English, you don't get to use, oh, well, you see, I'm English is my first language, so you can't, talk about how I write English weird. No, you posted it to a public forum.
You post it to a public forum. You're allowed to talk to you like you're in a public forum.
Yep.
That would be that would be like a street performer saying, "Yo, this is my first time, everybody, so you're not allowed to be mean to me."
You're not allowed to tell me I'm bad or that I'm doing it wrong. Yeah. No.
I just realized something.
Yeah.
English is not his first language, and yet he has churned out 2 novels worth of words in only 10 chapters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, see, that's actually something I can understand. Because whenever you write something that's not in your own language, you tend to be a bit more
wordy.
Yeah.
Prolific. A fountain of gibbering
This story
shit.
was inspired by Bruno Mars' song.
I'm sorry, is there some Russian fanfic I need to be looking for written by Nosehair?
Yes, actually. It's where he extols the virtues of his one-armed yang fetish.
I'm gonna fucking punch you.
No, you're gonna have one-armed yang do it for you.
Well, I know this song has been used for proposals before. I always thought it was an excellent advertisement jingle for any lawyer dealing in family law. Well, muggles have the easy way out, they get divorced. But I didn't want to give Harry and Daphne the easy way out. Well, no, actually, technically, author, the easy way out is self-mutation. The second easiest way out is to murder your spouse. The third quote-unquote easy way out is to divorce them. Trust me, murder is way easier than divorce.
I don't think you should ever be a divorce lawyer.
I don't think you should be giving relationship advice.
No, I shouldn't be. If you're taking serious relationship advice from a podcast labeled as improv...
I was going to say, improv, comedy, and posting isn't a tag we're allowed to use, but if we could, by God, we would.
Yes, indeed. We're not quite stand-up comedy tier, but we do tell stories. Anyway, so how do you cope when you have the choice between 2 evils? Murder your spouse or live with them? Evil? A completely relevant option.
Murder is generally considered evil. Sneaky.
Yes, however, if you literally are shackled by a magical contract that says you're not allowed to not live with this person unless they die, just saying. It was a rather cold summer night at the end of June, and the pubs just began to fill. June? Cold?
Does it get cold near the end of June in Britain?
It's always snow. It's always raining, so maybe.
They're roughly the same, was it longitude? That's the around the world, right?
I mean, it's New England, so don't ever consider it to be like the rest of the world.
Yes. Well, it is. They did name it correctly. It does have the same weather as England. But anyway, my point being is that it really doesn't get cold around here until like.
No, I'd say it actually does get a little bit nippy once it hits. Honestly, like late August.
Yeah, that's where it started actually getting cool at night. But I mean, July, June, especially June. Jesus Christ,
fucking June is like hell.
It's like,
June?
It's nighttime? That's 86 degrees. It's like, no. Cold
Hi,
night
welcome
in
to June. It's fucking 95 and 80% humidity.
See,
Enjoy your life.
This is why I always giggle a little bit when authors try to write other countries' weather, and it's just like, you clearly never even bothered to find out what kind of weather you have there.
Like, here's the thing, right?
Look up a farmer's almanac for the U.S. You'll be fine, I promise.
No, because you have to consider that New England.
Is the Farmer's Almanac still published?
Oh yeah.
Yes, they still publish it.
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure it's still published, right?
Farmers
Yes.
exist.
Farmer's Almanac even predicted Trump getting elected.
Okay, I have to hear about this.
I'm aware that farmers still exist, you fucking moron. I just figured that a publication that was started by one of the founding fathers might, at some point, have gone out of fucking
That's
business.
positively un-American.
That's
See,
positively
you
un-American.
think that, but on top of it being un-American, there's also the fact that they're actually
It's actually really
somewhat
accurate.
accurately.
Yeah, it's
They're
actually
still
very
somewhat
accurate
accurate.
for what it is.
Yeah. Also, news update. Apparently,
Oh, hi,
Birdie
Birdie.
has acquired a sandwich.
Oh,
Good for you,
good for
Birdie.
Birdie.
I do not have a sandwich, so I'm a little bit sad. Anyway.
I
A
haven't been
young
given my
man with
weekly allotment of food
raven-colored
yet, so-
hair walked down Leicester Square looking for a place to eat. See, now, again,
It's
problem here is...
technically it's licensed.
License? Well, I don't fucking care. Look, this is why the British aren't allowed to have control of the English language anymore.
Oh, this
Just
is
because
why.
you're from- just
This
because
is
you're
why,
from
is it?
Jersey.
Yeah,
Is that
they
why?
they are the Japanese of English.
Wait, hold on. What does that mean?
Wait, hang on. What?
You're gonna have to explain that to me.
They're on an island, and they name everything absolutely unpronounceable.
Okay, look, if there's any country that should have their control of their language taken away from them, it is absolutely German.
I don't know. I like my Flammenwerf. Werf's my Flammen.
Sneaky, you are aware that the way they get new words is just combine old words, which in some case means words have been combined 5 or 6 fucking times.
I am aware.
To the point where they look like a Welsh township.
Well, I mean, you gotta keep in mind that Germans.
You like your Flammenwerfer where you werf Flemmen?
Anyway, so as I was saying, don't do this here because I now want to shit all over this story. Raven-colored hair. Why do we need to know it? He's in Britain. Pretty much a majority of the population has brown or black hair. It is not a noteworthy thing. It's like saying, oh yeah, that individual with brown eyes. Almost pulled an Atin there. That individual with brown eyes was walking down the street. It's like, which one? Like 70% of them have brown eyes. It's a not only is it a useless descriptor. Why is it important that we know that he has black hair? Not important. Because again, this is fan fiction, not original fiction. So if you go Harry Potter, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, it's Harry Potter." I know what Harry Potter looks like. You don't need to describe Harry Potter to me for the 10 billionth time. Thank you, fanfiction.
Here's the thing, right? When you cover the appearance of, say, a crossover character, or the appearance of maybe a less well-known side character, great, go for it. People might not remember what Crab and Goyle, the fat fucks, look like.
I don't think they really need to. I'm pretty sure you can get
I'm
away
saying
with going
if
Crab
they're
and Goyle.
making them important to the story and they want to recover it,
Well,
fine,
even then,
go
it's
ahead.
just like,
But you don't need to tell me what Naruto looks like. You don't need to tell me what Harry Potter looks like. You don't need to tell me what
Naruto looks like.
I said Naruto.
Yeah.
I was going to go with
his blonde hair,
Midoriya,
deep
but
blue eyes.
Well, to be fair, most fanfiction artists are describing their literal fetish fuel. So.
Man, I miss Chrysanthemum. It was always
No, you
fun
don't.
reading young adult novels when she was there. Anyway. He stopped at a pub with the cryptic name Meaty Kumquat and hesitated for a moment. I too would hesitate if I had to step into a pub named that. As a wave of laughter spilled out from the pub onto the street, he made up his mind and opened the door and stepped inside, as opposed to just opening the door and standing there. As soon as he crossed the threshold, he stopped dead in his tracks. Matching the name of the pub, the interior was decorated in different shades of orange. Purple prosy, but whatever. The young man closed his eyes. Glad we have that very important detail.
Yep.
That looks like the headquarters for the Chudley Cannons, he thought to himself. He was just about to turn around and leave the pub when a delicious smell wafting through the kitchen reached his nose and made him reconsider. He went to the bar and ordered a pint of the bitter. And with the glass in his hand, he looked around. It was still early in the evening, and the pub was not yet crowded. He carried his glass to an empty table in the corner and sat down. Now, have you guys ever been to pubs before? Because I haven't, so I can't really comment on the language usage here.
I have been in a pub once in my life. I was young.
I
It
would
was in
say,
Savannah,
I haven't
Georgia.
been in a real pub. I've been in the shitty American versions of them, which are boring and unfun.
That's fair enough.
You've literally not gone to the right places then.
Sipping his bitter, he had a look at the other patrons. Only half of the tables were occupied. The most noise and rambunctious laughter came from a large group of young adults in their mid-20s and had several tables put together. The other table were mostly taken by couples who seemed to enjoy themselves. Sure do love this descriptor. I mean, now, again, he's fleshing out the scene. I can't really fault him for that. But why? You know, again, like I said, I can't fault him for that. But it's just like, what part of this is supposed to drag me into reading this story?
The part where you're here for Harry Potter, bitch.
Oh, I'm here for Harry Potter. I didn't know that.
Are you sure we're here for Harry Potter?
Oh yes, this fic. It's not the it's not the worst I've ever read. Well, it's certainly not the worst we've ever read on this podcast either. Anyway, so the young man sighed inwardly. Period. Not so long ago, he had been part of such a happy couple. Period. But that was water under the bridge. Period. Guinea had made it perfectly clear that she wasn't interested in spending her time in reclusiveness like he would have preferred, given his prominent status in the world. She wanted to go out and party and forget all about the war and they had fought and the losses they had suffered. She called it returning back to life, and he called her attitude callous. I want to move forward and move on from all the people that died. Oh, that's very callous of you.
It's quite a normal attitude you have there.
Ah, how dare you deal with your trauma?
Yeah, that's that pretty much, yeah.
You're dealing with your trauma unhealthily.
Normal? Dude, man, you can hit me with whatever you want. I'll take any sub you get, man.
Like, holy shit.
Normal, then it's on auto pay. Birdie speaking the real facts.
Like that Birdie's doing more to shill for you to get actual money than any of us have done.
Excuse me. I've mentioned him on a podcast I do in my normal life.
I shill him all the fucking time. What are you talking about?
It's Harry. He has held his trauma for 17 years. Is this really a surprise? He's getting angry at people for not wanting to have trauma. Yes, he's a self-sacrificing dumbass.
Behold, the greatest of literary tropes. A Christ figure.
Oh wow, who saw that one coming? You know, at least it did take him 3 days to come back to life. That would have changed the final battle a little bit. Thank you, Tuga. One word led to another, and in the end, they had broken up. Period. That had been this morning. Period. Angry words at the table next to him startled him out of his morose thoughts. Get your hands off me, you moron, you're drunk, a female voice hissed. Oh, come on, honey, don't be so prude. You know you want it, her companion slurred. Do people actually talk like that? Again, I don't go to pubs, but do people actually like say that?
Say
I
what?
think this is less a thing of it being at a pub and more of normal people don't usually say shit like that.
Oh, okay. Do you go outside? No. No, I hate people. I genuinely just hate interacting with people, because every time I interact with people, I am reminded that a majority of the population is mouth-breathing dumbasses.
That's just like your opinion, man.
I'm sorry, what was that? I can't reply to your email because I don't have it.
Huh?
I can't reply to your email because I don't have your email address.
Well, see, that's a part of the population that will be dying out in a few years, so we don't have to worry about that.
It's not like it was me that said that.
That was a
I
dumb
know. I'm aware.
story.
I'm still just pointing out. I mean,
But,
look, I went over to my landlord. You know, bless
Yeah.
her soul.
Now-
I went over to my
yeah.
landlord, and I needed to print something, and I knew she had a printer. And so, you know, she lets me onto her computer, and I open up Safari, and I go to my email. And she looks at me, just, you know, typing in gmail.com into the address bar. She's like, how did you just get there? I look at her, and she looks at me, and she goes, you know what? Actually, no. I'm old. I don't want to know.
At least she recognizes her.
Wait, I don't. What was she mystified by?
The fact that I just went to gmail.com without, like, needing to scroll through bookmarks or going to Google to find it. She didn't know how to use an address bar.
I get it.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
It makes us all sad.
Which,
don't worry.
if she's that old, it
But-
should be the only way she knows how to get anywhere.
No, like I'm saying, that just because you know, every address bar these days on web browsers, you type in what you want into the address bar and it does an automatic search for you. Even on Safari, it still goes through a search engine, and so, you know, like I said, bless her soul.
Bless their small, innocent little boomer souls.
No.
No,
Fuck
she is far beyond boomer.
Oh.
What's let's see. Also legit after wanting to stay inside and be a hikikomori, Harry ends up going outside way more often with his new wife. So I guess they have better chemistry. Magic, man. Don't worry, I type speech with single quotes because I hate like he grinned.
I'm extremely confused now.
I'm
What?
also confused.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
I believe Barrack is having a minor seizure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Author.exe has stopped working. Please restart the process.
Anyway, so as I was saying, is that actually a line that people say? I don't know. Maybe
Actually, Birdie, I quite often know what's going on. It's moments like this where I have no idea what's going on.
I was gonna say, I look, I'm not gonna pretend that I pay the most attention. In fact, I forget who half you people are half the time. But that has more to do with personal disdain than anything else.
It's true, you know. He has just a personal disdain for everyone in this fucking server.
No, I have personal disdain for Sneaky and you.
Yes.
Max is a solid mensch.
An Ubermensch?
No. Not that.
Okay,
The
I'd like
young
to know
man
what the fuck
turned
I did
around
to
on his
Briar.
chair. At the table next to him, a large man had put his hairy
I would say,
arm
here's the
around
problem.
the shoulder
You
of a
can never
blonde young
truly
woman.
have any respect for someone that you've lived with.
Wow, you're really going with the knuckle dragger trope, really, author?
Of course they are.
Of
course they are.
Of course you're fucking creative, huh?
You
I was
act like
trying
they
to
were gonna do
nibble
anything
on her
else.
ear.
Fuck, yo.
The woman shuddered. By her stiff posture, the young man could tell it wasn't out of pleasure, though the monkey, a little bit racist author, who pulled her even closer to him apparently thought so. The young woman tried to get away from him, but the man held her tight with his ape-like arms. Yeah, literally knuckle dragger, okay? The young man decided he had seen and heard enough. Just call him fucking Harry Potter. His friend Hermione would probably say it was because of his saving people thing, and be very displeased with him. Hermione would be very displeased that Harry stepped in to prevent a sexual assault.
I can't imagine that ever being the case. In fact, I'm pretty sure she'd be like, why did you even think about that? The answer is go.
Have you not gotten past the first chapter in these 30 minutes? I forgot how slow you read. Well, look, I meander around. What was that? The fucking that purple hippo from Five Nights at Freddy's? That's me. That is my spirit animal.
There was a
hippo.
Purple hippo. Are you talking? There's a purple man, but I don't remember there ever being a hippo of any kind.
So, in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator and in Ultimate Custom
You act
Night,
like any one of us played that.
well, I mean, I watched Markiplier play it. There is a cheap animatronic that was added as like a tier system.
Yeah, here he is, Mr. Hippo.
Yeah. Anyway, so his whole shtick is that he'll literally, when he gets you in Ultimate Custom Night and kills you, he literally sits there and tells you like a 10-minute story, and then kills you at the end.
Also, part of the reason we take so long is because none of us actually want to read this garbage.
Also observe Harry using his magic to create wards in 15 minutes down the page. Yeah, of course, because with wards and stuff. I love that fan, and by love, I mean I don't.
Birdie, stop watching Game Theory.
I do watch Game Theory. No, his early shit was pretty bad because there wasn't a lot to base off of, and he was trying to be very verbose about the very little.
He was trying to pad his video length.
Yeah. His actual later videos got the Scott Cawthon approval in terms of details.
Well, no, there were the early videos, which were garbage. Then there were the later videos. There was the middle set of videos, which got Scott's approval. And then there was the really late set of videos where Scott was like, dude, you are huffing glue.
No, it's the other way around. His early videos were not commented on. His middle video is the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 one, I think it was, where Scott was like, no, you were just so far off base. You're just wrong on everything. And then it was around 5 and 6 that Scott, I think it was around 6 that Scott came in and was like, wow, you really got everything right. And then he released a new game. And he laughs. He laughs at Matt Pat. But I really don't watch any of Game Theory's other videos because, he just pads everything else. It's his obsession. It's the same with Markiplier. It's their obsession with Five Nights at Freddy's that makes me know I'm getting genuine content. It has destroyed both of those people. There is something fundamentally broken inside them now when it comes to FNAF.
To be fair, if I had to play FNAF for like years on end, I probably would be pretty broken too.
No, hang on a second. Hang on. Mark didn't have to. He chose to. He kept going back.
Oh my god. I actually feel a little bit bad because I've watched him have a heart attack at least twice playing FNAF.
I think everyone has.
I honestly still have nightmares sometimes.
Dude.
If it's like...
Oh man. Well, I mean, Markiplier has a phobia of animatronics.
Yeah, like
I'm pretty sure anyone who's ever been to Chuck E. Cheese when they're like
no, this isn't like
6,
I really
has a
hate
phobia.
No, like this is like a genuine phobia. Like he literally like almost had a full on heart attack at one point in one of his videos because of a jump scare of an animatronic, and he was just he was literally just like spasming from the heart attack.
Yeah, I've got a friend that occasionally
automotophobia.
I'll occasionally pull out the VR headset. We'll just have some fun playing some games there, but we cannot strap him into any animatronic based VR things.
Yeah, no,
He will not cope well with it, and fists might fly.
Well, I mean, which again is why I give such commendation to Markiplier.
For
He's
being
killing
willing to
himself for his
suffer
art.
through.
He suffers through it because people like watching him play FNAF and FNAF spin-offs. So he's like, all right, well, you guys are the audience and you've brought me to this point, so I guess I'll do it.
This is what I've been forced to do for the rest of my days.
But anyway. Yes, like I said, I am the hippo. I will tell you a long, complicated story that is completely, usually, irrelevant to what I'm actually reading. And then I'll get back to what I'm actually supposed to be doing.
I miss the old off the rail counter. I was so good at inflating that.
Back in the day when we actually were really bad at getting back on track and circling everything back around.
I mean, we're still pretty bad at it.
There was
we're
a track.
getting better. We were. If you look at our old videos, we were horrendous at it.
Well, that was because we didn't have the mental fortitude we possess now for this garbage.
I suppose so. He had heard enough. Hermione would be angry at him, but it was the right thing to do. Yes.
That's the weird thing, by the way. Is Hermione really the kind of character that would look at someone?
Yes. No. Hold on, Barracks. Yes, back in the day, literally 2 years ago. This is a 3-year running podcast. I can most certainly say back in the day at this point.
I mean, to be fair, also, Max, Hermione's the character that literally went out of her way to try and free the house elves that were just like, we're just kind of fine sitting here.
Yeah, that's Max's point, though. It's like, how dare you stop a sexual assault?
Yeah,
said Hermione never.
I bet, like, you literally just reinforced my point with that nose hair.
Well, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I
was trying to help with you with your point.
No, my point was, is Hermione actually the kind of character that would sit by and let something bad like that happen?
Absolutely not.
Like, I feel, if it was an extreme case, like, if I help that person, I'm guaranteed to die, I feel like maybe there'd be second thoughts for what little I know of Hermione. But from what I'm seeing, it's like, no, you should stop that. Because if you don't, I am, and if I do it, things are going to get loud.
So the author is trying to use, either intentionally or unintentionally, is trying to, I believe the correct word here is juxtapose. That Harry is doing what is considered by his peers to be a bad thing, which apparently is stopping a sexual assault is a bad thing according to Harry, from his peers' opinion. And he's trying to use that opinion to juxtapose it against Harry's graceful nature and very forgiving nature and very selfless nature. And he's trying to build Harry up, is what I'm trying to say, by being like, oh, he goes against his peers, and he will stop sexual assault of the women. Like, okay, well, almost any not insane person would be like,
provided
buddy.
they have the ability, they would do such a thing.
They'd be like, yo, buddy,
Queens.
back the fuck off.
But yeah, no.
Have you considered not being a terrible human being?
Hello, Bear.
We've tried that. Oh, unfortunately, it doesn't really work out for us. Sorry.
Anyway, so he shoots a confundus at the monkey. The monkey lets go of the young woman. Again, this is why I don't like purple prose either. These sorts of terminologies, I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's racist. It's not.
It doesn't really add anything.
Not that it doesn't even add anything. It's very weak. Oh, he's like you can describe someone initially as ape-like. He's very thick arms and he's hairy with a sloped brow. And he's very heavy set. He's like, ooh. Sure, great. That's wonderful. You described a knuckle dragger trope. Fantastic. Continuing to call him monkey, ape, thug, Neanderthal. I would go more with thug, honestly. Just using animal appellations. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yes.
Appellation?
Maybe?
Let's take a crack at what it is you're trying to say. A name or title.
Yes. Excellent. So I am using the correct word and pronouncing it somewhat correctly. It's a good day.
As far as I'm aware, you're pronouncing it correctly. It's
We're
not a very common word to hear out and about, believe it or not.
Yes, well, using animals to name someone, basically, effectively, without naming them, I dislike. Her walrus-like form, her giraffe-like neck. I find it to be cheap. It's a point of personal preference, I suppose, but
That's definitely a point of personal preference.
I just don't. I find it's just cheap. Like, it's one thing to be like his shark-like smile. Everyone knows the shark-like smile. Okay, but
I mean, honestly, you could do that even without having the moniker. You could just say like a shit-eating grin.
Yeah, but
everyone will understand
I'm
what
saying
you
I'm
mean.
fine. But my point is I'm fine with that sort of thing. But then, say you then go on to just to instead of calling the person, the asshole, the jerk, the lawyer, whatever your preferred pronouns for that person would be, calling them the shark from now on, it'd be like,
Why?
Also, using animals as a noun for a person can get confusing in a story, because now I'm confused as to whether there's an actual monkey also sexually assaulting the woman alongside the ape-like man.
I would say, which would certainly change the way the story's going.
What is the strength?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
He rose from his chair and stumbled out of the pub, a confused expression on his face. Yeah, because that's what Confundus does. The young woman watched him leave. Watched him leaving. No.
Watched him leaving.
No. Incorrect answer. With a puzzled frown. There was something oddly familiar about her, the young man thought. Then it hit him. It's Greengrass. Yeah, yes, of course. A, pureblood witch just randomly drinking in a muggle pub and being completely helpless to a large burly man licking her ear.
Well, you see, the large burly man had great magic barrier.
Of course.
Look, it's not her fault he was wearing hovel gear and thus impervious to all magic.
It's not actually the hovel gear that does that.
No, it's the spell.
I know, it's great magic.
It is the faith that magic.
Well, no,
can
I mean,
eat
remember,
shit.
hovel gear has like it's like 85% resists.
Does that include magic? I never knew if it included magic or not.
No,
I think
hovel
it's-
gear does not.
I think
have
it's
high resistance to magic.
90, 80, 80 with a full set.
Yeah, it's got very high resistance to fire and lightning.
Hovel's whole thing was, I hate magic.
Yeah, and most of your magic resistance in Dark Souls 1 at least came from having the shield as well as the armor.
Yeah, I don't think the armor itself had a high magic resistance. I mean,
I know
comparatively,
it had a fuck
did.
ton of. I know it had a fuck ton of physical resistance. I didn't know it ever had.
The fizz
Well,
resistance
no,
is massive.
No, the magic resistance was its highest.
Was it really?
Hovel gear was this. Do you breathe? Fuck you.
No, the hovel gear. No, the highest resistance on hovel gear was physical, followed by fire and lightning.
I'm talking about elemental defense, dude. Dark Souls 1.
Yeah.
Magic defense 142, fire defense 140, lightning defense 125. I'm literally looking at the stat spread.
Okay.
I thought that's felt weird because I remember having Great Magic Barrier on and then also having Havel stuff and just laughing at the puny mage builds. That was like one of the most fun things you could do in game.
Nah, man, most fun thing you could do was set up all hobble gear and ninja flip around with boxing gloves.
Invades world. Alright, well that's a person with hollow gear. Well, they're pretty slow, so I can deal with ninja flip. What the fuck? Punch.
My favorite part was we did have that one guy like, I can fight him, and I just uppercut through his attack swing because I still had poise for days.
You came to the wrong house, fool.
Oh, technically, I broke into his house for that.
Hobble
So
punch. Oh, and then there was a time that I invaded someone's world, and then you got summoned to defend
What?
yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
that happened. I was wearing I think it was at the Blue Sentinel ring at the time.
them. Yeah, you were the Blue Sentinel ring, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go invade someone.
Yeah, and I just kind
I
of
used
sat
the
my
red
butt
horn.
on the bridge. It's like, well, Sneaky, this is how this is gonna go.
He gets to just keep advancing through the zone.
Oh, well, except that he then doubled around to go get Sneaky. It's like, well, it's out of my hands because I don't think you have the resistances for Chaos Fireball and
Chaos
Crystal Soul
Fireball,
Spear.
Chaos Fireball, Chaos Fireball. Oh god, Lava in Dark Souls 1 was 30.
Stop casting fireball. What's that? I'm sorry, I can't hear you over fireball.
Oh, C8 doesn't know.
Max going on the offensive, how unlike him. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, sir. You are very
You haven't seen this man play Dark Souls.
He is very aggressive.
Honestly, the way he plays Dark Souls reminds me of the way Sneaky plays Dota. Only actually successful.
Excuse you.
I like
Excuse
that
you.
we added that caveat at the last second.
Excuse you. I am
No.
always successful.
At what? Feeding
My-
the enemy team?
My minus 50
Yes.
MMR says otherwise.
I'm sorry. Who picked Nyx when I said don't pick Nyx? Oh, right. You.
I'm sorry, who had fucking 25 kills at the end of that game? Fuck
not you.
I did, yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't have shit. You had 25
25
deaths.
I had 25 kills. Okay, yes, I died a lot, but I had 25 kills at the end of that because I was fucking getting kills for our
You
mid.
were a core.
I was getting kills for our mid.
You were the core Nyx.
Meanwhile,
First of
C8's
all-
having a small breakdown in the chat while you guys are having this conversation.
What's up, Petro?
He's very confused.
Basically, I panicked,
He
picked a
seems
hero,
to think
and now
that Max
Sneaky's
being
mad.
violent was a result of some grievous injury. Listen, this man does strength builds. This man does big boy builds.
It wasn't even so much violence. It's just, I'm going to walk forward, I'm going to swing my sword, and you're either going to get out of the way or get hit.
Talk shit, get hit.
Bitch, get
No,
out
it
of the
was
way.
it was walk in my direction, get hit.
Anyway,
I would say, which complements what me and Sneaky do rather nicely, since I tend to do dex sword builds, and Sneaky tends to be a casting asshole.
No, I tend to do strength builds because, one, I like big, heavy, slow stuff, and two, it really suits me because I can be support or I can be TPS, at least as far as Dark Souls is concerned. In Bloodborne,
dodge.
Bloodborne is slightly different. Bloodborne is, I have to be in your face all the time or I die. Because Bloodborne is a very aggressive game. I want to stick Sneaky on Bloodborne sometime.
Has he not played Bloodborne?
No, it doesn't have PS4.
No.
I would love to stick Sneaky in Bloodborne to see what happens when he realizes that his magic build is going to take literal late game.
I wouldn't do a
And
magic
even-
build.
Even then, it's kind of shit.
No,
No.
it's extremely shit.
I wouldn't bother.
I, for real, just didn't touch magic in that game.
Actually, you know what? See, a good way to describe my playstyle in Dark Souls is very aggressive support. Because I look for like, oh shit, I need to get
Aggressively
in so they can
support
heal.
you.
Be healed.
mean-
Be healed.
I mean, granted, your support doesn't usually run in like that unless they're specifically playing tank. So then I started doing faith strength builds because like, oh, I could do group heals.
Well, see, I eventually reached the point where I had so much fun with Dark Souls, I was like, now it's time for memes. So far, my favorite has been it's either the Hector build, which is you just use a great axe like a normal strength build,
Just
Or-
pure strength dex for Hector.
I hit thing.
Anyway, then it hit him. It's green grass, he exclaimed. The head of the young woman whipped around, because she whipped her hair back and forth. Her eyes grew wide as she recognized
Stop.
him. Potter, what are you doing here? She asked. Harry gave her a lopsided grin. I could ask you the same. This is not exactly the place where I imagined to hit upon Slytherin's pure-blood princess and the Ice Queen, Daphne Greengrass. She looked around and mind your words, Potter. This pub is full of muggles. Okay. First off, most people will ignore words like pure blood princess and reigning ice queen when they see two, teenagers talking. Because
I would say they will very decidedly ignore those words.
it's like, they're talking about secondary school, whatever. It's they're young enough, it's some sort of school thing, whatever.
It's a play.
When person then goes, this pub is full of hard R, then people go, wait a second, fucking, what did they just say?
What the fuck did you just say?
Every head turning at once. What'd you just say, boy?
Don't worry, I've set up privacy and anti-listening wards, he grinned.
Okay, why are there anti-listening wards near a pub?
What's the difference between privacy and anti-listening wards?
You see, privacy wards are the ones that allow you to bang on the table.
Thank you for this mental image. I'll be leaving now.
I assume that's what the author's getting at.
By the look in her eyes, he could tell she didn't believe him. Wordlessly, she asked. Her voice sounded skeptical. Okay. Her voice sounded like the number 7. Odd, but okay.
Do they mean like 7 of 9?
Like 7.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. And wandlessly, he supplied.
What?
She still looked skeptical. She apparently still looked 7.
That is not an alternative spelling. No.
No, is it really?
I refuse.
No, there's no way that's...
Oh, fuck you, English. God damn it. That's a thing. The worst thing about English is like there's
variant of...
there's
No,
British English,
no,
there's American
no,
English, there's
speak
Canadian
on
English.
English is very dumb. English as a language is just fucking weird sometimes, my dudes.
Our C's can sometimes be S's or hard cuss sounds. Why though? Because fuck you, that's why.
Because fuck you for
Crazy.
Because fuck you for wanting to learn our language.
I believe you mean Strazy, Atin.
This party's getting crazy.
I ought to kill you. But I
No,
have
see,
to
we're-
finish removing Britain from the face of the earth first.
See, what we have to do is say it like
See,
Dante would.
I make a joke.
No, see-
I start off the podcast with a joke about how Britain's gone too far with the English language, and then this. Then we get this.
Well, except that it being turned to a K is probably an American's fault.
You mean a solution?
Listen,
No.
I agree with you because K's are almost always hard K sounds, unlike C's. But you know what makes it worse?
What?
The word scepter exists.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is my point.
Fucking English. Okay,
You
Amazon, what are
never
you
were
selling me
that
that's
good
called
while you were at
scepter?
school.
Oh, it's literally just people. It's okay. Thank you, Amazon.
You never were that good while we were at school. He laughed at that. Greengrass, we didn't run in the same circles at school, so you won't know what I can or can't do.
What?
No, you taught a whole class, and you constantly fought and casted all of 3 spells. So, because this is supposedly
This is-
canon until post schooling,
This is clearly an anime version of Harry Potter where
yes.
he somehow has like
he trained in hiding, and he didn't show his real power level until now. This is why I dislike these romance AUs. First off, but this is why I dislike authors doing this sort of shit in general. It's just like, you have ways, easy ways, of setting up them conversing with each other, of setting up the reasons why they're drinking with each other, of setting up all of these different things. Ways that are believable. Ways that don't include Harry Potter hiding his power level and being able to cast spells that don't exist in canon wandlessly and wordlessly, which also doesn't exist in canon. As far as I'm aware. Yeah, no, as far as I'm aware, neither of those also exist in canon. So, if you want Harry Potter to have these abilities, I'm completely fine with that. It's just the part where you just claimed that Harry Potter trained in secret and never showed anyone his power level until just now. That's the part I
where's he
can't
been
do.
hiding that power?
Lapse in PT. Yeah, well, Portuguese is crap language. Portuguese is bastardized Spanish, and Spanish is already incorrect.
And here comes the angry fan mail.
If I got angry fan mail for that, I would be immensely pleased.
That would be because that would mean someone was listening.
Yes. And actually got angry enough about my jokes about how all other languages are inferior.
It's not the greatest benchmark, but it's a benchmark.
But most importantly, I hold back my power level. And being on the run for your life for a year to finishing off a megalomaniac monster does help hone your skills, I can tell you. Except for the part
Okay,
where
is
you
this
only
Harry
use
Potter
3
or is
skills.
this
I
Virgil?
would say, except for the part where he used 3 things.
Mhm.
Count them: 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Yeah.
The whole book series.
Yep. Stunner.
Again, are we sure this is Harry Potter and not Virgil?
Hey, you know what? Virgil is way cooler.
She picked up a
Yeah, I
glass
know,
of wine in
but-
front of her and rose from her table and sat down opposite of him. All right, Potter, why don't you think this impromptu school reunion is the perfect opportunity to catch up between old schoolmates? He had picked up his glass again and now snorted into his bitter. Greengrass, we were never that chummy at school that I'd tell you what's going on in my life. Next Alien Low is that you've run off with the information to Skeeter, or I'll find another article full of lies about me misprinted in the Prophet. Or even worse, she'll tell you little wannabe Death Eater chums. I bet they'll be happy about any information they can get back at me. Get back at me. I have been told they are still vexed at me because I finished off their bigwig. Harry wasn't confrontational with Slytherins. Yeah, he hated Malfoy. But
Well, that was more of a Malfoy.
I would
Yeah,
say,
just
but that was on
instigated
a personal,
Yeah,
that was on an
that wasn't-
interpersonal level.
that wasn't a Slytherin thing. Like, yeah, he hated the Slytherin Quidditch team because they roughhoused his team.
and cheated
But
often.
yeah, but
And he hated Snape because Snape let them do it.
Yeah, he's not Ron in his fervent hatred and misguided beliefs about everyone in Slytherin. He's ambivalent to Slytherin.
Although I will say that Dumbledore is a bit of an asshole for letting Snape just do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
to.
Oh wow. Original opinions in 2019 from Nosehair.
Well, no, that's just a common fact at this point. Dumbledore is an asshole.
But again, this is just some weird characterization of Harry where he just hates Daphne. Oh, I'm gonna save this girl. Oh, fuck you, bitch! I'm not gonna talk to you. Okay, it's a little bit of a 180, my dude.
I mean, here's the thing, right? I could understand if he went, look, just because I helped you doesn't mean I like you,
well,
right?
not only that, if he was like, oh, am I gonna maybe some snarky comment about, oh, am I gonna see anything I tell you show up in the papers tomorrow? That again, I could follow that. I'd be like, okay, yeah, he's had bad luck with the press before and people leaking true and false things to the press, and okay. And maybe he doesn't trust that Daphne a bunch, and he's never really met her before. General,
I would say
negative
there's
opinion
any
slip.
number of ways this could go that would make this a far more sensible, believable scene.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
the
those have
author
all been thrown
chose
out
not
the
to do
window.
any of them. Anyway. He took a gulp and put down his glass, giving her a long, hard stare with his deep, emerald green eyes. Aren't
Wait,
you?
hold on. You know what? You're veering into territory we're not allowed to veer into. You're just gonna have to rewind that and use some less suggestive wording, please.
No. Aren't you betrothed to not? He is one of the worst, and I bet he'd be delighted if his sweetheart tells him some news about me.
I have several questions.
Also, here's the thing, right? I understood when the Death Eaters were like sticking around the first time because they're like, he had 9 Horcruxes or whatever. There's no way.
I mean, it's like okay, but yeah, so their leader's killed, but they're still racist assholes.
No, I get that, but the thing that was holding them together was still the big bad guy.
Yes.
And they were like, we just need to stick around because he's totes gonna be back because we know that he had at least 1 Horcrux.
And now Harry's killed them all, and there's only one left, and it's his fucking snake. Does anyone want to cut off its head and become a hero or something, or are you all just gonna like sit around and do nothing?
I suppose there's some Freudian therapy going on there that the final Horcrux for Voldemort is his snake.
His big long snake.
Stop.
Yes.
I don't
That
want to
hid
believe.
in the deep dark hole.
I don't want to believe that J.K. Rowling actually thought that through.
No. Here's the thing. I'm convinced it was Freudian, not on the part of Voldemort, but on the part of Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
That's also an image I don't want to think about.
Anyway.
And yet, I've put it in your mind.
Also, he's like gulping down this bitter. Now I know what he's talking about when he's talking about a bitter. He's talking about what I'm drinking, basically. But if he's gulping that shit down, that should be empty already.
I was gonna say, look, even the British pint, which is
well, you don't drink bitter by the pint. You drink it by the glass.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Even assuming he's there for some reason serving it in pints.
Yeah. Her face had gone
still be
very red at his words, and she
Hey, drink a little bit of a pint of whiskey with me, boy.
That was bad. She reciprocated his stare with an equally hard one from her almost violet blue eyes. For your information, Potter, I was betrothed to not older brother. He was a Death Eater and an arsehole, and thankfully was killed during the Battle of Hogwarts. After the battle, Not, now head of his house, approached my father to set up a similar betrothal contract between him and me. Since I am of age, my father couldn't do anything without my consent.
Different wording, please.
That's more Fannin. More Fannin on top of the previous Fannin. But apparently the Knots had dirt on my father and they pressured him. In return, my family pressured me to sign the contract. I finally had enough and ran away 4 weeks ago. Her voice sounded bitter. Harry searched her face for any sign of duplicity. Okay, Harry, let's be straight here, Harry. You wouldn't know someone was lying to you if they were wearing a sign saying, "I am blatantly lying to you."
That's a little harsh, don't you think?
No. He has worse social skills than I do.
Like I said, that's a little harsh, don't you think?
No.
I'm mostly saying that because I'm pretty sure a brick has better social skills than you do.
This is factual.
Oh, so you're saying he has less social skills than a brick. Got it.
Mhm.
Well, this is factual.
But couldn't find it, neither in her expression nor her posture. Like, you would know how to tell when someone's lying by looking at their expression or posture. Especially someone who is famed in the Slytherin house as the Ice Queen. That is like that's like going to a poker tournament and looking at the world championship poker player and trying to figure out if he's bluffing you as an amateur.
I like to think that Snape's
No,
the one
not
who's
even
telling
just
him
an
that he's
amateur,
bad at
like
I
some
like-
dude off the street.
Never played poker before ever, and you're trying to fucking analyze the world's best poker player. Yeah, that's basically what's going on here right now.
I like to think that Snape's the one telling him, just like, Potter, you could not tell if someone was lying if they had a sign on telling you they were blatantly lying to you, or something like that.
You drew that out too much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Snape's thing, isn't it?
No. Snape's thing is a quick, short insult.
All right, well then you say it, because apparently I've forgotten how the books go.
Something along the lines of, I don't know. Potter, you wouldn't know if someone was lying to you if they flat out told you they were. You imbecilic buffoon.
Fuck you and fuck your father. Hate you both.
But mostly
Fuck
your
you,
father.
Fuck your father, and I want to fuck your mother.
Or was
Professor,
it the
what was
other
that
way
last-
around? I've been angry for so long, I've forgotten.
Professor, what was that last part? Don't worry about it.
Anyway. I'm sorry, Greengrass. I didn't know that. It's alright, Potter. Like you said, we weren't that chummy in school, so you wouldn't know. God, is this what talking with people is like? Have I just been missing dialogue all this time with people? Because I've never fucking heard a 180 happen so fast in a conversation.
You
That-
keep missing the
That I
dialogue
wasn't
trees, sorry.
shitposting it, of course. I've seen plenty of 180s and shitpost conversations, but not serious ones about someone's entire family turning on them.
You keep missing all of the
The quick time events.
dialogue. Yeah, you had to hit the right dialogue trees. Sorry.
She drained her glass in one gulp and put it back on the table.
What
Harry
what is
stood
with
up and
the
went to the bar.
what is with the fortitude of these people just knocking back entire glasses of bit, like just bam.
No,
So,
hers
where
is
were we?
wine. He's drinking bitters, she's drinking wine.
Ah, okay.
I mean, that
Harry
doesn't
stood
really.
up
So
and
she's
went to
just
the bar.
Wait a minute, 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 wait a
Yes?
minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're
Yes?
telling me that she agrees to go to Wizard Vegas while wine drunk?
Yes. Yes. The most pathetic form of drunk.
I don't believe that. Look,
Second.
I've met people who were wine drunk. The craziest thing I could get them to agree to was balancing the glass of wine on their head.
Birdie is becoming her own back and forth straight man comedian routine.
Ah, good for Birdie.
Don't worry, Birdie, your jokes will be immortalized. He returned carrying a glass of wine and another pint of bitter. A fucking pint!
See, I told you, pints.
What the shit, my dude? What kind of pub is this?
One that sells really weak ale, apparently.
You're welcome, he replied automatically and sat down. So you've practically been hiding among the muggles for the last month? You've done a pretty good job, I'd say. I'm impressed. I've never thought a pureblood is able to fit in that seamlessly. He gestured at her outfit with his hand. She was dressed for dancing on a Saturday night. She wore a tight black and white patterned dress. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give kudos to the author. They actually managed to slip in what Daphne is wearing in an appropriate moment. So,
Yes.
You know what, author? I will give you kudos. Unfortunately, you're just found wanting in literally every other category. Except for spelling. I can't penalize you for using British spelling. I can insult you for it, but I can't penalize you for it. She was always the prettiest girls ever. He was so pretty. He had no idea she was the perfectly sculpted body. She was so pretty. Mal, she's pretty. She knew he was checking her out, and so she gave him a rye.
Rye?
WRY?
Yes.
Rye.
Grin over the rim of her glass. That's not as difficult as it seems to most purebloods. Very few people know that my best friend Tracy Davis was a Muggle-born. Wasn't she half-blood? Tracy and her family was killed by Death Eaters. I'm sorry, I had no idea. It's a very close-kept secret. I warned her, she blah blah blah. She's actually from a Scrib line and actually Muggle-born, and we just perpetuated the lie that she's half-blood. Of course, everything about her was a lie, otherwise we wouldn't be able to fit in completely AU elements, thereby completely disregarding any characterization of what extremely little there was of Daphne Greengrass in the canon story. Because, like I said, there's very little characterization to the point where you almost have pretty much entirely free reign. And you decided to discard it. So you could inject your stupid little AU fan shit. For no apparent reason other than having Daphne be
They're having fun,
more
Sneaky.
proficient at doing an easy thing. Look, all I'm saying is if Tracy Davis was still canonically half-blood instead of Muggle-born, it's no reason that Daphne couldn't get how to dress like a non-magical. I mean, honestly, you don't even need to be friends with a non-magical descendant individual to figure out how to dress like a non-magical. Step 1 is you disillusion yourself, and step 2 is you go off onto one of the non-magical streets, and you don't stand in the street because no one else is. Obviously, you use your observational skills of a 2-year-old, and you figure out that since no one else is standing in the middle of the street with the fast-moving steel objects flying around on it, you don't either. And then step 3 is that you look around and see what everyone else is wearing, and then you wear that. It's a very simple process of figuring out what you do in an area if you are magical. And if you're non-magical, all you do is you go online. Like, for example, in Turkey, you don't wear shorts. Wearing shorts is considered disrespectful, as is placing your hands inside the pockets of your pants.
I'm
Two
sorry, what
things
now?
you also could figure out if you had gone to Turkey and just looked what everyone was wearing and doing. Very simple
you went-
things.
No one here is wearing shorts.
Birdie, I think you mean yeeted through a window. Sneaky, they're British, quote unquote. I don't know what that's a response to. But still, it's just. Are you saying the British don't have common sense or basic observational skills? Because I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just saying that it doesn't require you having a black friend to know how they dress. But that's just my point. I spent summers at Tracy's home and learned all about Muggle culture and how to dress like a Muggle. Yeah, again, it's like I can call them Muggles forever, Muggle friends. We were interested in fashion, so we learned how to blend in. Again, it's
I
not
think
like it's
Atten
hard.
just went offline.
What went offline?
I think Atten just went offline.
I'm not surprised. But again, it's not hard. Again, it's so we have to learn fashion to blend in. Not really. I mean, yeah, you have to learn fashion if you want to stay fashionable. If you care about the opinions of your lessers, because you keep calling them muggles. So there's certain implications in that. But again, what is everyone else wearing? Okay, so the women are typically wearing this thing. I'll wear that. Maybe not most fashionable, but doesn't exactly require intensive study. So when I ran away from home, I had no problems renting a room at a small flat and finding work.
Well,
that's adorable.
that was all. Discord shot the bed.
I had no problems finding a apartment to rent and a job within a week of running away. Without ID.
I would say
Or magic.
with what ID and what qualification? Job as a hooker, maybe.
Yeah. I'm impressed, Greengrass. What are you doing, if I may ask? You may ask. I worked as a sales assistant on Kings Road. Oh, you mean that sort of thing that you need a degree for?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm assuming sales assistant is the polite corporate phrasing
Retailer?
for clerk bitch.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm planning on attending evening school to obtain my GCSE in coming September. I want to study fashion design.
I assume that's the British equivalent of a GED.
No, general college secondary education. Yeah, I think that's what it stands for. Because they call college secondary school. So I'm assuming it's basically the equivalent of a bachelor's, maybe an associate.
Also, look, I could maybe buy getting a job without identification of any kind, right? Especially like a crappy part-time job, right? But education in Britain is all state-run, which is great. I would say, which for people trying to get a job or people trying to go to school, fantastic, right?
Yeah, except for the part where you need identification.
That's what I was about to get to. Like,
Yeah,
it's great, right up until the point that you have to actually show identification.
Also, the money. That's right. It is pretty cheap. I suppose you could do it off with a salary like that.
Well, I mean, when you're a wizard and you can magic all kinds of crap into existence for yourself that a normal person, like food and like, I really want a TV. I'll just take a cardboard box home and make it a fucking TV.
Well, yeah, but you also have to consider the fact that there is a TV license in Britain.
I mean, is that actually a thing?
Yes, that's actually a thing. You have to pay your license so you can get publicly funded channels like BBC and crap. And it's mandatory. It's a TV tax. I mean, I believe you can opt out of it, but then you don't get TV at all, as far as I'm aware.
Well, I mean, in that case, I mean, she could still use it to like watch movies and shit.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. But, still, it's like... Also, you can't magic electronics,
I mean, you can, you're just not trying hard enough.
clearly. I'm very impressed. It can't be easy given your background. You see, I'm just a fast learner. I learned a lot about Muggle culture from the Davises. You still call them Muggles? I was able to blame that on the strict
I mean, I was gonna
scheduling.
say a lifetime of stupidity is hard to unlearn.
Well, yes, but one would think that if you are spending time as a sales associate where you constantly have to interact with other people who are non-magical, slinging around the term muggle left and
I would
right.
say, think of this, Sneaky. It could easily be a case of she says muggle because she's with a magical person.
That's fair. That's fair. Just like how you wouldn't hard R around a black person, I suppose.
Or it might be that you have one friend who says it's totally fine and you do it around them all the time. Then when you do it around your not friend, suddenly you have a problem.
I don't remember, but does magic in the HP world ever been canonically said to interfere with electricity? Yeah, there was something about it during the whole car thing. Yeah. There was something said about it. At least in passing mention in the books. But anyway, Green Rash, you're ambitious. Well, I'm Slytherin. True, you're Slytherin. Most of your housemates weren't ambitious. Well, yes, they all gave Slytherin a bad name. They were all Hufflepuffs. Oh, wow, I'm laughing at that. That's so funny. Love of power is a facet of being a Slytherin. Blah 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 blah. I killed off Voldemort. Yes, you did. You're very impressive.
Voldemort. Ooh, Voldemort.
Blah blah
Voldemort.
blah. You were watching me fight him? Yep, I was there watching you fight him. That's surprising. I never expected that. What made you do it? I felt miserable after Tracy's death, so I decided to join your side. I never thought you had it in you. I didn't know I had it in me myself until I found myself fighting back. Aren't you still 17, Potter? How'd you manage to persuade the barkeeper to let you buy alcohol? Oh, well, you see, I just used Confundish Charm on him. Hey, Harry, you know how that whole thing about abusing magic on people?
I mean, here's the thing, right? At least that's a feasible excuse. Like, I need to see some ID, kid. Confundus.
Also, I don't think they even have ID in Britain. Check.
You have to have. They have driver's licenses.
Do they?
What do you mean, do they? Well, Sneaky, one,
Okay.
they all have passports.
Well, yes, but you're not going to carry around a passport specifically for the purpose of IDing for alcohol.
I mean, if it's the only form of ID you have, you might. But ignoring that, they do in fact have driver's licenses there, Sneaky.
Yeah, no, they do.
Most countries have driver's licenses where they have a significant amount of people on the road. That way, when the cops pull someone over, it's really easy to figure out if that person should technically be allowed to be driving that vehicle.
I mean, the answer is usually no, but they ignore that in Britain.
You know damn well what I mean, Sneaky.
I do. Anyway. Yeah, so, yeah, blah, 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 pointless crap, blah, blah. You're a parcel mouth, I was a parcel mouth, I lost that when I killed Riddle, blah, 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 average life, you're not average, Daphne, you're beautiful, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, it's just your general romance trash. It's just fucking completely out of character interactions, shit tier dialogue, just generally unrealistic scenarios that set the entire thing up. So basically, this isn't Harry Potter at all. It's just a bunch of characters wearing the skins of Harry Potter characters, so the author can live out their
I was
weird
going
ass
to say, in
fantasies.
some cases, quite poorly.
Yeah. So the author can live out their weird ass fantasies in which Harry Potter, quote unquote, ends up marrying Daphne Greengrass, quote unquote, and the concept of divorce doesn't exist in Britain, the magical side. And yeah. So I give this story a 0 out of 10. I already hated romance, but the author did an amazing job as to reminding me why exactly I hated romance, which is the fact that they completely botched literally everything about Harry Potter and added in a bunch of their own fanon specifically to build up Harry Potter to be some sort of mystical figure beyond what he was already, for the sole purpose of having interactions occur that could have been done better and in different ways without needing any sort of fanon to build him up with. So that is my review for this story. We're going to finish up tonight with one more story, the Worm Void Dragon crossover. And,
Here's the review.
we
Here's
call it a
Sneaky's
night.
review of the story. Please do not.
Henry
Is
the
that
VIII dislikes that. Henry VIII wants to know your location.
Please never post this ever again. Thank you.
Henry VIII wants to know if you're related to him.
Alright, and
If so, congratulations. It's a boy.
so this is the next Vic. Worm, Void Dragon, all capitals, so you know it's serious. Taylor Hebert gains the powers of Magdaladroth, the Void Dragon. How will she deal with this? Please read this story to find out.
Whenever someone says the Void Dragon, I keep thinking of 40K.
That's
And
because
it
it
just makes
is.
me laugh.
Yes.
Wait, what was the name again?
Worm,
This is 40K.
the Void Dragon.
I didn't hear there was 40K. I didn't hear the name. My bad.
To be fair, every other time it's been the Void Dragon on this show, it's been some stupid D times D thing.
Fair enough.
That's what I was thinking it was.
Yes, no, this is 40K
I was
Void Dragon.
defending you, you muppet.
No, I was confirming that you were defending me.
So I'm going to review the summary here. I give the summary a 0 out of 10. Well, it does tell us what exactly the premise of the story is. Taylor gains the power of the Void Dragon. It asks a completely pointless question because the entire purpose of the story is how does she deal with this? So you don't need to ask that in the summary because the premise of the story should be how does she deal with this? Kind of self-evident. You don't need to ask that question. You don't need to pose that question. You know, it's like Taylor gets the Infinity Gauntlet. The next words out of your mouth is, what happens next? What happens next? How did you know?
Snap is what happens next.
Yeah, it's just like, fucking shit.
Fuck you all.
No, actually, man, the story is Taylor gets the Infinity Gauntlet and then falls asleep on her couch, and that's the end of the story.
That sounds more like a Kirby story.
And then you get minus points for saying, please read this story to find out more. because A, that's begging, and
B,
C,
that's clickbait.
that tells us jack fucking shit about your story and it's in the summary, and D, that's low quality.
It's also clickbait. Please don't do that.
Hello, readers. In this story, Taylor Hebert receives the powers of Magdaladroth, aka the Void Dragon. How will Taylor, with the abilities of a star god from the Warhammer 40k universe? It will be revealed in this tale. Well, I certainly fucking hope it is revealed in this tale, author. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless to both write and read this story if the entire premise of the story is, in fact, not Taylor dealing with the powers of having a void god.
You know, I kind of wish the authors know how to go on. Well, check that story out for this, because this is a completely different one, just so we get a table flip live on camera.
Psych! No one's
Psych.
Pav. Alright, no one's Pav. Everyone's story over.
Woo!
You have achieved the bad ending. Good job.
Void Dragon hurtling through warp. The Satan has thought that things would go well for him.
It's pronounced like Catan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it Catan?
It's
And
Catan.
it probably is, but I'm calling
Just
it
like the
Satan.
settlers.
Stop.
Does anyone have any wood? I need sheep.
I can trade you 3 wood for an ore.
That's not what I wanted.
Well, too bad. It's what I fucking got. And ladies and gentlemen, you have now heard the extent of every single
The
fucking
entire
game.
premise of Settlers of
Rage. Endless rage.
Does anybody have sheep? I have ore. No!
Wood! Can I get wood?
Can I please get a single fucking sheep in my lifetime? No.
I'm just getting
I'll
flashbacks to
trade
old
you
Civ games I did with you,
73
Sneaky.
wood for 1 week.
Oh, what's that?
Please.
It's either my civilization or yours during one of our games where it's like, we've declared National Whale Week, get us some whales. It's like, but we're landlocked.
Oh, yeah. We're on the Pangea, we're like in the middle of it. It's like, it's whale week. It's like, oh, that's great. It's whale week. Let's go get our boats and go whaling in the forest.
Hey, ain't you ever heard of them land whales? You can find them in Walmart.
I'm reminded
Nothing's
of that
ever gonna-
one-
Nothing will ever beat my golden age of riots, but boy, National Whale Week in landlocked supercontinent was pretty close.
Hey, Max, we're gonna declare war on the AI. Wait, but I'm surrounded by them. We know. We'll just pay you.
No, it wasn't we know. It was, hey, did you guys just declare war? Yeah, why? Because I'm still surrounded by them. Oh. Have some money.
Aura intensified.
Oh god, it was all females too, wasn't it? It was all women leaders. That game. Playing Civ with you is both a joy and agony in one go.
No, listen, playing any 4X with Sneaky is an experience.
I've never played a 4X with Sneaky, so I wouldn't know. Mostly because
You're missing out.
Like,
I wanted to
look,
keep my
Look,
sanity.
I think so far my personal favorite was the time the humans and the trees teamed up in Warhammer. The humans fought everybody for, see, what was it, like 100 years in game?
It was at least 120 or so turns, yeah.
I mean, actually, come to think of it, I've asked you guys to play fucking Endless Legend for like fucking months, feels like.
You haven't
I don't
asked
have
me
that game.
once to
That's
play.
why. Anyway, point is, the humans
might be
and
the
the
only
trees were
one
teamed
with
up. The
that.
trees
Alright.
spent 120 years trying
sounds
to
like something
convince
you
the
would
other
own, Sneaky.
trees to work with them, while the humans were fighting chaos, the vampires, the dwarves, the Bretonnians, the other humans, the orcs, chaos again.
Yeah, I've got
The other
sessions.
humans.
And then the trees came out and killed everyone.
Except the Empire, because the Empire had helped them kill the other trees.
Thank you for helping us kill these other trees.
In
Humans, we shall
return,
be-
we'll leave you alone as long as you promise not to cut down any trees. Done.
Thanks.
That's fine. We got stonework. We're good.
We just killed all the dwarves, so we're gonna go live in the mountains.
Please do not yeet the trees.
My name is the Lorax. I speak for the trees. The trees gonna drink your blood, kid.
The trees tell me to tell you to
The
fuck off.
hunt begins. Alright.
Well, now I gotta go Google what the fuck a katana is while you're reading this.
Anyway,
Fucking
it's
Warhammer
a
lore.
giant space whale that
Oh
eats
no,
suns.
Max, listen to me. Much like with all Warhammer lore, this will send you down a hole. If
Yeah.
you don't have time to go through the entire Necron history, don't look up what the katana are.
Basically, it's a space whale that eats suns, and then one day people worshipped it, and it was like, well, hey, souls are tastier, so it started eating souls.
No, you completely forgot the part where they were actually gods.
Yes.
Because remember that got retconned in.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah,
I'm gonna
that.
sum this up as if I was a 5-year-old.
Yep.
They're big energy vampire ghosts.
Yes.
Yes.
That are, but they're actually gods.
Mm-hmm.
That
They're
does
assholes,
not
too.
negate my prior statement, sir.
They're
I
I'm
still
not saying it
love
does.
that familiar Zero Necron story. That is still
So
one of my
good.
favorite stories.
I'm so sad the author's dead.
Well, he finished it.
Yeah, but the sequel.
There was a sequel?
Yes, remember at the very end, he's like, hey, this isn't done yet.
Oh, shit.
Remember? She
That's right.
becomes a Catan.
Yeah, I know that's the ending.
Yeah, she becomes a Catan, and there was going to be, the author was planning to write a whole follow-up sequel where it was, and now she's back in 40k as a not horrible Catan. How will literally the entire world react to a not terrible Catan? Because remember, she was put into process by Gork and Mork.
Yep.
Gork, Mork, please stop making more gods. No. I want to punch him.
That is genuinely
I was just
the
saying,
reaction.
Gork and Mork were actually highly intelligent in this version, because remember, they're cunningly brutal and brutally cunning, respectively.
Well, that still doesn't mean they don't talk like a bunch of fucking 1920s slags.
Yeah, but the thing is orcs used to be intelligent too. And then because their language devolved and their belief devolved, so did the gods' ability to speak.
At least to them.
Yes.
When they're actually in the
Fuck these things.
Immaterium and not trying to talk to people, they're fine.
Just whenever they try to talk to people, that shit just kind of hits the fan.
Yes. Anyway, so point being is that Void Dragon is fleeing from the Immaterium. And he'd been freed from his prison.
Probably because Bone Daddy is mad at it.
Probably. Within the Noctis Labyrinth on Mars by a force of both Necrons and the cyborgs that worshipped him. Fucking Xenorite cultists.
Fucking Xenos.
Damned Xenos.
No, Xenorite.
Oh.
Well, still fuck the Xenos.
Oh, by the way, I think one of my favorite things to come from the 40k book was an inquisitor from the Ordos Hereticus saying, "Isn't it about time we looked into the Mechanicus' cult, guys?"
Well,
What are you
don't they
talking
say
about?
that the Omnissiah is the Emperor? Or some facet of the Emperor or some shit?
Now they do. They didn't originally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that
Hey, guys.
that always confused me, where they switched, like, I do remember it being a separate cult, and now it's, like, one thing.
They
But
retconned
by the way, that was the thing going through all Guardsman Party. I kept looking at this. I'm like, as much as we get like heresy from the Mechanicus, boy, they sure seem heretical compared to what I know of the God Emperor stuff.
Oh, the Mechanicus is horribly heretical.
The
And yet
Mechanicus is
they're
like,
allowed to exist.
Because
Well,
they're
see,
also the only
they're-
ones that know how to use the tech.
well, that's mostly because humanity
Oh
as
my
a fucking
God.
whole just fucking
Uh,
itself.
No, but Max,
and, like,
that's actually it.
you can't kick out your dickhead roommate Bob because he's the only one who can get the fucking TV working this day and age because it uses cathode tubes.
No, more like,
I mean,
you
that's
can't kick out your
actually
roommate
pretty
Bob because he's the only one that knows how to make your gun not explode.
Also, he's the only one who can make you a new one.
Yeah. That's it. Get ready for... You've heard of the Settlers of Catan. Now get ready for Catan Settlers. Any of y'all have some spare souls? I got plenty of chaos.
No, they
I have
actually,
star
luckily they
energy.
hate chaos.
I have some star energy. Oh, God. No, I actually had such bad luck that back when I was going to summer camps when I played Settlers of Catan, that literally everyone would start quoting at me all the time. Got any wood for sheep? Because all I got during Settlers was wood. Endless wood. And I'd be like, look, I need sheep. Does anyone need wood? Wood for sheep!
Please give me a single fucking sheep for the love of God.
Please, I can't be Welsh without it.
Anyway.
I mean, it's more like I can't build development cards because no one's giving me a fucking sheep.
The amount of forces from Necron fleet, from one of the Karen-class battleships, blah blah blah, Necron fleets. Members of the Xenorite sect from blah blah blah. Fucking Xenorites. The Void Dragon was one of the last remaining Satans, seen as canon or being formed from stars during the dawn of creation. They were giant energy vampires who fed upon stars. Blah blah. It was only after the first war in heaven between the reptilian psychic old ones and technologically advanced network here that Satan drew the attention of the mortal races. In this case, it was the Necron tier, the outcast deceiver of their kind who convinced the Necron tier to create bodies for Satan to use in order for them to aid the Necrons. The deceiver then tricked the Necrons, blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah, devoured the souls of Necrons here, the flesh of deceased, blah blah blah, metallic Necrons, blah blah blah, second war in heaven, collect their butts, old one, allied races, entire world race, blah blah, old ones, yeah. Created the
I mean, I think
fungal
you're
green
skipping
skin
past a few
quarks
things,
and
but
the
that's pretty close.
Eldar. Both these races were psychic, and blah blah blah, master of the physical universe, blah blah blah. Create black holes, blah blah blah. Then two new races join the fight, blah blah blah. Webways, blah blah blah. A Void Dragon was planned to create an interstellar network of Blackstone pillars in order to seal away the material universe from the warp. If it had been completed, all biological sentient life with souls in the universe would have died. Fortunately, that plan wasn't completed. Well, I mean, Blackstone pillars are still exceedingly useful for containing the Eye of Terror.
Terror.
Well, I was gonna say, here's the thing: the network probably wouldn't. Well, first of all, it wouldn't have killed everything. Roughly 1% of humanity would have survived.
Which, I mean, still, when you're talking about, like, hundreds of trillions.
Still a lot of humanity, but
That's what
you
I'm
know.
saying. Like, it's also arguable about whether or not the orcs would have survived. Also, all the Tyranids would be fine.
Yeah, orcs don't have souls.
Tyranids would be fine. It would be arguable whether or not
Eldar would be
really. No, the Eldar would die. They have
Yeah,
souls.
Eldar would be fucked.
It would be arguable about whether or not extremely augmented members of the Mechanicus would die.
Possible. The Tyranids would be fine because they don't have souls either. Orcs would be fine because they don't have souls. Anything that can fall to chaos has a soul. And neither Tyranids nor orcs, thankfully, can fall to chaos.
Now, here's the question. Can a blank fall to chaos?
No.
No.
It's physically impossible.
Gotcha.
It is quite literally impossible for a blank to fall to chaos. I'm actually certain that's
Or
written
rather,
somewhere.
I suppose it's impossible for chaos to accept their fall.
No, not even, no. It is literally impossible for a blank.
Blanks are basically.
Well, no, blanks can be, they can do chaosy things and, killing people and raping people and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. That's what I was saying.
Well, yeah, but that's just negative aspects of humanity. That's not like being chaos.
No, but I'm saying one of them could go around, for instance, screaming "skulls for the Skull Throne" and killing everyone.
Well, that implies that a blank would have
so
feelings.
could a normal person.
Yeah, I know, Sneaky. I'm just saying, even if they do that, they can't fall to chaos.
No,
Yeah,
but
no.
usually blanks are pretty emotionally dead inside anyway.
Yeah.
They're
Also, C8, here's a mental image for you. A looted Carnifex orc chaos weird boy.
Please delete this image.
But yeah, no. Blanks literally cannot fall to chaos. Like,
I'm sorry,
yes,
hold
they
on.
can
I have
kill
to talk about something.
you. Yes.
A headline. A young boy went blind because he only ate French fries, Pringles, and white bread.
Yes.
That was his diet.
That's called vitamin deficiency, and those parents should be locked up for child abuse.
I mean, yes, they should, but
But anyway,
Well,
point being
let them.
is that blanks can't fall. Can saints fall? I don't think it's ever been
once they
recorded.
once they physically become a saint, the answer to that is no.
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say
they are then a warp entity.
yeah.
Despite what the ecclesiarchs will tell you.
Yes.
The
So saints
ecclesiarchy.
can't fall. Blanks can't fall. Siphius Cain can't fall.
Who? Do you mean Caiaphas?
And you say my pronunciation is bad.
I mean, Cain can't fall because he's badass. He would unfortunately die if the Necrons completed that pillar thing, though.
We really don't even know that though.
You're right. He could be standing next to you. Actually, that's a good question. Assuming that because it would be an instantaneous effect, if normal people just lived within range of blanks, would they just be fine?
Well, no, because you gotta keep in mind blanks cut your connection to the immaterium, and people can exist around blanks just fine.
That's true. I was gonna say
I
that's
actually
true.
don't know.
Only obscenely powerful blanks can kill people by standing next to them.
But the reason why obscenely powerful blanks kill people by standing next to them that aren't also blanks is because they are literally rejecting reality around them and eroding the souls of people.
Well, yes, but Sneaky, in theory, that would be what would happen if the materium and the immaterium were completely separated.
Really up for speculation.
Point is, this is technically feasible.
The Catan thought it would. Doesn't mean
Yes.
it would. Just they thought it.
It's a feasible
As
idea.
we've seen, the Catan are notoriously bad at long-term planning and execution.
Hey, let's kill all the rest of our brethren. That won't possibly go wrong for us, right?
Let's eat them for power.
Deceiver laughing in the background.
Catan decided to eat each other. Deceiver, Void Dragon, Nightbringer, Outsider. Surzax, the Silent King, blah blah.
You know,
Satana,
when does
blah,
Papa
blah.
Smurf show up?
He doesn't.
I know.
Yet.
But he should.
Outsider and Void Dragon were the only ones left who were whole. Outsider yeeted out of the galaxy, which, okay, honestly, that's probably the best decision I've ever seen out of someone in 40k universe. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Alright, I'm leaving now. You all have fun.
You know what? Fuck this galaxy, I'm leaving.
I mean, really, that's what most of humanity would be doing if they could. Isn't that what the Tau were trying to do?
The Tau?
What even the fuck are the Tau doing?
I think the Tau are trying to collect everyone they can for some arc, yeah.
I would just say it's either that or, I'm very, very afraid of.
Look how diverse our greater good is. Anyway, Catan imprisoned there, God Emperor, long before the 41st millennium. No shit, Sherlock. The God Emperor fought the Void Dragon in the deserts of Libya.
I have several questions.
I mean, they would actually, depending on when this is, they would still technically be called that.
Possible. Void dragons were left in prison on Mars, so Mechanicus would be formed in the future. It was from the dreams of the slumbering Void Dragon that the designs of the fantastical weapons germinated in the minds of tech priests on Mars. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's canon. I don't know.
What, the
Once
tech
the
priests
war
go full
holding down the
heretic now?
silver-hued draconic figure, the sword of the Emperor pulled from its head, it had been awoken with thunder's roar. Golden Throne, blah blah, catastrophe. God Emperor used his psychic might to create a
All right, hold on.
world large enough to
Sneaky.
swallow
I'm a scroll through the Omniscia real quick.
I do want to point out that the Emperor, even in his near death-like state, and well, yes, he does have several thousand people sacrificed to him daily. Even in his death-like state, he can still have a scrap with Gork and Mork that the Gork and Mork are satisfied with, keep off the 4 Chaos Gods, and provide active GPS directions to the entire Imperium.
Oh yeah, and then all of the souls
And
eventually
when
go
his
to
son
heaven.
shows up, still make his son feel like a piece of shit.
Yes.
Where the fuck were you when I needed you?
No, it's not even that. It's they finally revealed that the Emperor is a terrible, terrible person who doesn't even care about the children he grew from himself.
That's kind of lame.
Anyway,
No, seriously, that's
portal
kinda lame.
opened up and ate the Satan.
Wait, hold on.
Hmm?
I'll send you something. Keep going,
Yep.
Sneaky.
God Emperor, blah blah blah. He was hoping the warp would kill the Void Dragon. It caused damage to the Void Dragon. The pained being devoured the souls of all of its followers to the last. The damaged being had lost almost all of its personality and most of its body along the way to the place it currently was. The weakened mind sensed for a way to recover its strength. The being's senses warned it of a creature some dimensions away that was similar to it, but not. The creature looked like a slug that was shredding crystals from its body. Right now, the Satan sensed the creature, sent a powerful shard down to the blue and green planet below. That's not how that works. It is dimensionally different. Satan followed the path Queen Administrator Shard in order to catch the shard and devour it for energy. The whole unbroken power of the Void Dragon landed in the injured body of the teenage human girl named Taylor Herbert. That's, again, not how that works. The Void Dragon Shard devoured the other shard before it could connect itself to its host. The girl's body changed due to the unexpected incursion of nanomachines and necrodermis.
Not
What?
how that works.
That's not how that
You
works.
can't hurt me, Jack.
Like, I could buy that if the Void Dragon was some sort of immaterium entity. It's not. It's a very materium entity, which means it cannot override reality by simply wishing to. It has to use physics.
You act like physics have any place in 40k.
They do for the Satan.
Aren't they in the Immaterium, though?
No, the immaterium is actually they're anathema.
Anathema?
Yes. And that's the reason why the orcs and Eldar are so effective against the Necrons. Is because they are purely materium.
The Eldar aren't.
The Eldar are not pure Materium. They just had Wraithbone.
No! The Necrons are!
Ah, yes, sorry. But they have, don't they have, can't they, like, steal Psychers or something?
Nope.
I don't think the Necrons can actually use any sort of.
The Necrons are physically incapable of using any
Oh,
form of
no, it was
immaterium.
blanks. That's what it was.
Yep.
Yes, you're thinking of blanks.
They can steal blanks.
Very effective for Necrons.
Considering blanks are purely materium, yes.
Why
Anyway.
are there so many Necrons here? We need your help to crush the puny humans.
Anyway, so blah blah blah, blah
probably
blah
didn't sound like
blah
that.
blah blah. Powered by the girl's soul, what was left of the void dragon enacted changes on the Taylor's body based on its personal preferences along with the subconscious desire of the host's mind. The body made of flesh transformed into a silver-hued body made of necrodermis and some sort of biotransference process. Again, I would buy this if it wasn't purely Materium. Taylor now looked like a silver-hued, draconic robot woman with large boobs and wings.
Jesus
I'm sorry, what?
Christ.
Her neck was short and curved. She's basically.
By the way, nose
if
hair.
you've ever been on
So-
DeviantArt and you've ever
It's that.
seen an anthro dragon woman, that.
Nose hair. I sent you it's the entire thing from the last chapter. Max, if you want to read it, it's quite a bit of 40k lore, actually.
Blah blah blah. She had an hourglass figure with large hips and boobs. Blah blah. She also had more armor, and the bugs in her locker dissolved and died as their life force was consumed by the Satan. When the process was completed, Taylor opened her green eyes and pushed open her locker with ease. The bullied teenager who was shoved in her locker earlier that day looked around. Within her body, nanomachines began to fix all the damage. The soul of Taylor Herbert has been diminished due to it being used to power the process of biotransference. The mind of Taylor, though, was fully intact and housed in a processor more intelligent than any human brain.
Sneaky.
Hmm?
It is in fact canon.
What?
Well, no, I'm sorry. There's a cult in the Mechanicus
Yes, the
that
Xenorite
believes
cult.
it.
Or are you talking about the cult in Mechanicus that believes Omniscience and the Emperor are one?
Both.
Yeah, I'm
This
I'm
is
aware.
backed up. I would say this is backed up by the fact that
I
bunch of-
wasn't sure if I was aware both of those were canon. I just wasn't sure if all of the Mechanicus had been retconned into thinking the Omniscience was the Emperor or not.
it depends. Basically, the farther you get into 40k, the more true that is. Because only like ultra high level tech priests get taught otherwise, basically.
Okay. Blah blah blah. So blah blah processor with her conscious self.
No, I'm sorry,
rendered-
Sneaky. Here it is. Blah 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 blah. Da, 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 da. The Omniscience, the avatar of the machine god, is believed to be friendly to humanity as his chosen people and to be the originator of all human technological and scientific knowledge. There are many members of the Mechanicus who have doubts about whether the Omniscience and the Emperor are actually the same. Many cults within the Mechanicus hold that the Omniscience has not yet revealed himself. It was similar beliefs that led to the outbreak of the Schism of Mars and the formation of the Dark Mechanicus during the Horus Heresy.
So what? The Mechanicus are effectively the Jews.
Yes.
That's
Only
not like
with plasma weapons.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Her conscious self rendered temporarily inactive due to her passing out earlier from trauma. The subconscious part took control. That is not how that works at all. The subconscious is subconscious. It is not conscious. It is not able to override consciousness. It's able to heavily influence your conscious, but if you are unconscious, you don't just wake up and your subconscious is in control. That's no. Systems check complete. Warning: energy levels low. Recommended: search for energy sources, preferably souls. It's like you're trying to do some sort of like tech speak here, where it's like warning, error messages, and blah blah blah, and then you're like, also you should probably look for souls or something, for more energy because that's a thing you need. Pick one, author. Fucking pick one.
Also, according to memory archives, possible prey can be found in the downtown area of Brockton Bay known as the Docks. It is necessary to remain hidden and avoid drawing attention to ensure successful hunting.
What are you, a fucking tutorial message?
Yeah, like, you can either be an error prompt or a tutorial.
Press the A button to jump.
Can't be both.
Yeah, I actually got a physical today for my job. And, you know, it was that moment of, okay, look up, look down, look left, look right. Is there any issues with that?
All right, Chief. We
Well,
just
no,
gotta
I was gonna
calibrate
say
your suit.
at least Halo thinly disguised it as the suit calibrations.
Sarge, you ever gonna tell me exactly how you got off that ring?
Fuck you, bitch.
Classified.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm the Master
blah,
Chief.
blah,
Classified.
blah, stupid shit, blah, blah, blah. Taylor turned camouflage, becoming Satan, teleport to docks. She found 5 thugs and she killed them and then she ate them. She relished the taste of souls, blah, blah, blah. They screamed and panned, blah, blah, blah. She ate the corpses as well and mined them for minerals. Scrap metal was also consumed, and then she fell asleep. She dreamt old memories of feeding on stars. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, I remember Taylor's point of view. Wait, I remember. I was trapped in the locker by the trio. In there, I turned into this form, the form of a Satan. Wait a minute, how do I know that? Exclamation point,
I don't care. Can we
question
please
mark.
skip this? I'm hungry and it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we're gonna end it. Look, where we at? Greetings, Taylor Herbert. I am the operating system of your subconscious.
Not how that works.
Not how that works at all.
It is now.
Please delete this.
I store all relevant data. A computer screen appeared in the middle of the room as my mind began to play videos for me.
Oh, Jesus God, no. How much
And
is
I
left
now
of
had
this
a
garbage?
virtual computer. I
Trent.
saw different files I could access.
Sent to another world with a digital computer in my brain.
After viewing what I did last night, I felt guilt and shame. I killed 5 people and ate their souls. I am now a confirmed soul-eating monster. I then let out large amounts of tears and inky black tar seeped from my eyes and as I cried in my sorrow.
Stop whining.
Look, if it was turning her into a Necron, the first thing it would do is get rid of annoying things like emotions.
Well, no, not emotions. Just, morals, ethics, guilt over killing someone and eating their soul. You know, the general thing you want to do if you're turning someone into a Satan.
Yeah.
I reviewed all the memories that were stored in my mind, and I was just shocked and scared and horrified about my powers. Oh my god, I'm like a worse than a million Hitlers put together.
Wow.
So what you're saying is you're 1,000 Stalins. I calmed down and I realized that I controlled these powers and not the other way around, and that the original owner of these powers was now dead. And as a whole Satan instead of a shard, I have access to the following powers. And then the author proceeds to make a list of powers. Of apparently she's just a tabletop piece with a game guide listing what she can do. Wow, I thought to myself, that sure is a whole lot of powers. I could totally fight the Endbringers like this. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah.
Laughs an Endbringer.
Wait, that's something else I saw in the video. What was that thing? A slug covered in crystals. Oh my god. I just realized that Scion is like the Satan. And after this revelation, I have to think about what I'm going to do. It's been 30 minutes, and so I used all of my powers and the visions and everything else to hide myself and scan everything around me. It seems I have all the technology that was ever invented by Necrons and the human cyborgs of the Adeptus Mechanicus. So I'm going to go create myself an army now. And she does that, and
That doesn't make any
I also
fucking
have a
sense.
handy little GUI bar that tells me how much soul energy I have. However, the soul energy I've gathered restored my soul to 100%, and the extra soul energy was stored in an adjacent soul container. The amount of extra soul energy I currently have was enough to cast an ability.
Oh Jesus! Please
I
stop
need to
talking. This
gather
is
more
painfully
soul
stupid.
energy.
Please check the enclosed instruction booklet to learn more.
It's literally looking like they were like, what if Taylor got the powers of a Satan? Hidden gamer fic.
Alright, where's the fucking voice speaking in your ear? Or
I
whatever?
used my operating system to correlate Sophia being Shadowstalker. And so now I'm going to go electrocute her to death. And blah, 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 wireless network, creating Necron army. I can't face my dad like this, and so I hid. And I'm going to go create a Taylor bot so I can specifically interact with my father. Wow, that pretty much hit on all of the worst cliches of Worm. And you get your wish, Atin. We can all
Thanks,
go
I hit
now.
it.
So, and I hope you all enjoyed everything I just put you through, because there is always more where that came from. So be sure to tell everyone in your Discords, in your friendship circles, on the Facebooks, in the Twitters. Be sure to tell them all that there is always more, and it always gets worse.